Damon Martin, MMAfighting.com here with Gilbert Burns, days removed from his title fight at UFC 258. Gilbert, let me first ask, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good, brother. Yeah, it was a hard one to swallow. Like Saturday night was horrible. Saturday all night was horrible, but Sunday morning, start feeling a lot better. And then got the flight back home, and then got the kids here with me, the wife here. So yeah, feeling a lot better right now.
Obviously, going home to the wife and kids, that's always got to cheer you up, right?
Yeah, no, that was good. And then, uh, yeah, and then get me going again. And then I know I did a lot of mistakes, and a lot of little mistakes just keep coming, and then I understand the why, and then we're gonna fight again. I felt that pain again. Jiu-jitsu back in the days, back in 2009, 2010, was became a champion 2011, and then I just different sport, but the pain is kind of like the same level.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, since the fight, I mean, obviously, you had a tremendous showing in the fight, nothing to be ashamed of in that regard, but have you had a chance to go back and rewatch the fight and kind of examine your performance?
Yeah, maybe over 20 times already. And yeah, I think I did very good in the beginning, but for sure, like the same thought that I had right in the interview after the fight I was overexcited. I had a lot of feelings in me that I thought I'll be able to control that until when I knew I wasn't in control, and then not a big mistake was going to the break between the first and the second round. I was kind of trying to figure it what I was going to do. I was, like hoping to get kind of something kind of close to the Henry Hope voice, and he wasn't there. And then I was kind of like hoping to that get a voice for one of the corners to be close to that. And on that meantime, I supposed to taking my deep breath and recover. I didn't do that. I was kind of thinking the next step, and then as soon as I was back in the second round, then I realized, oh shit, like I didn't recover. I wasn't thinking on that. Put my heart rate down. That was one of my mistakes, and that was a busy week. I no excuse. I lost, but I had a lot of things going on my head. It was hard to clean up. It was hard to focus, and it paid a price on the fight.
Yeah. Obviously, you hit him with that big shot in the opening round and you hurt him. You dropped him. I think you're the first person to ever drop Kamaru Usman, which, again, I know it doesn't give you the title, but you got to feel good about the way it started. But I know you said, that moment, you got caught up in the moment. You just kind of went crazy. Again, you can't exactly control how it's going to go, but do you feel like that was ultimately just the kind of changing point in the fight, the turning point when you kind of came out of yourself a little bit, went for the kill? When it didn't happen, it just kind of changed the momentum.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened, and I heard him a couple of times. He's the guy that does a very good job with that poker face, but we all here for the G know the poker face, so I know I hit him very hard. I heard him, like you said, uh, nobody ever dropped him. I did, nobody, and knowing that I did that and it wasn't my best performance, wasn't my best execution, for sure that give me a lot more to the next, going to the next. So that's why I think he's a great champion. He did what he had to do, but I do believe was more mistakes that I did. I as soon as okay, if I was the coach right there, I would say, hey, Burns, relax a little bit. I know you're getting overexcited, but just keep doing what you're doing. You're still gonna hurt him, but just stay more disciplined. I want your hands up. When you move your head, when you move your feet, he doesn't let no jab in you. So keep doing that. Don't give no jab to him. Don't give one jab to give one right hand. No, just stay out of the jabs and keep moving. That's it. They're not gonna touch you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't load up the punch. If you throw it quick, he's gonna hurt him anyway. So that was kind of the approach that I was trying to get from myself. But like I said, it was a lot of things on my head. I got too emotional, was and I wasn't able to execute the way I wanted. But I know I can do it. That's That's the main thing. I did a couple mistakes. I overthink. I overload up the punch. I got super excited. I was there was a lot of emotions on that fight, and then that was a big mistake. You know, when I go to a fight, I gotta be with a clean mind. I gotta be able to. That's the difference between the champion and the number one, number two contender. The ability to make decisions, and I wasn't able to make the right decisions, and Kamaru was able to make the right decisions. That's it.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, because you guys had trained together for so long, and we talked a lot about that ahead of the fight. Obviously, Kamaru used his jab a lot in that second and then going into the third round. Overall, though, did he throw anything at you that you hadn't seen before, either in training or in preparing for the fight? Like in terms of like what he did he do anything different to surprise you?
Not really. Not really. He does that. Those sessions, like he even said, those training goes a lot like the session was going. The only different thing, he never TKO me in the session, but I was always, staying more calm, throwing a lot of kicks, uh, moving my head. Don't get. That's the only thing that he was catching me with, those straight punches. So I was always moving my head. We don't need to be expert in boxing, a lot of things, but I'm very small for that division. Is small as in reach. Let's say that. Let's put them that way. Those guys, every single one of these guys, they got more reach than me. But that's not a problem. If you heard about Mike Tyson, that's a small heavyweight that just moved ahead. So that was a lot of things that I should do more with Kamaru, but got to a point that I was just like, you know what? I don't care. That's gonna be my math right now. Give me one jab, I'm gonna give you one right hand. And that would have to be a lot of playing with my ego, play with a lot of feelings, and that's not the way a champion should fight. And then that's why I didn't deserve to win that night, because I wasn't clear focused on the fight. I had a lot of things going on, and I wasn't able to. It's no excuse, but I wasn't able to perform my best, and he did. And the trainer was a lot like that. He does a lot of basic things mixing with the grappling. I was hoping he to mix it with the grappling as soon as I heard him, but he hats off for Kamaru Usman, because he stayed nice and disciplined behind his jabs, stay calm, because I hit that guy very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you told me beforehand, and again, you're not a guy to ever make excuses, Gilbert, but you told me beforehand your head coach, Henry Hoof, wasn't going to be in the corner. He was going to take a step back because obviously the close relationship he had with both you and Kamaru when he was down at Sanford MMA. I'll ask kind of a two-part question. Like how much of a difference did that make in terms of just not having that guy in your corner in terms of being a coach, and how much would it mean to you to have him in your corner for a rematch or for your next fight? Because I know a head coach, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, there was a big deal, bigger than I thought, because I thought the thing that came into my mind was, okay, if the guy is not feel comfortable, I respect that. Let's put this guy, and whatever if you don't feel good, the way I was approaching, if you don't feel good coming to my corner, I don't want you to come. I want the people that want to be in my corner right there. If you don't want to feel, if you don't feel good, if you don't feel like it, don't come. But I thought I had that figured out, but when the first round was like that, and then I won that first round, and I was feeling that I was going out of the trail a little bit, I need a guy like Henry Hoof, to put me back on the trail and, make sure I give my best of my abilities. I thought I had that figured out. But I was wrong, because between rounds I was looking for that voice that Henry has, and he comes and put me right back to perform my best. Hey, what are you doing? Call back, do this, and that. I don't want you to do nothing anymore. I was looking for that voice, and I didn't find that. I was wrong that I thought would be okay, but in a way that wasn't okay. So, but I do still respecting him, like him a lot. But I hope I'm gonna do the rematch sooner than later. I know I can beat any one of these guys in the top 5. I will beat these guys. I'm gonna fight Kamaru again. and I hope Henry's in the corner this time. But like I said again, no excuse. I knew that that was going to happen, but was hard to me. Was hard for me to kind of. I thought I had that figured out, but I didn't.
Yeah. Coming out of that, Gilbert, I mean, you're still ranked as, obviously, number 2 in the world, whatever it is right now. So obviously you're not going to lose much ground in terms of that. Now we know that, obviously we know that it looks like anyways, Kamaru's probably going to fight George Masvidal for his next fight. And maybe you just saw the news, Leon Edwards is going to fight Bilal Muhammad, which is a great fight as well. To me, that leaves one guy out there, and that's Colby Covington, a guy that you've wanted to fight many, many times. But I'll ask you, I mean, I know you're, obviously you're going to take a little bit of time, spend with the family, recover, but I know you're a guy, if you had your wish, you'd probably be back in there this weekend. So what, considering the lay of the land, is Colby Covington the fighter or Wonder Boy? Like, where's your head at right now?
Those are the guys. I'm I guess suspended 45 days. They run all the tests on me on the backstage, and they doctors saw that I was good. I had no headache. I had nothing, and I'm good. So March 1st, I'm gonna see the doctor, Dr. Reeves from Sanford. That's my prior doctor, and after that we'll see. And then, but I believe I'll be good to go by May, maybe June. That's the day that I'm looking for. And those are the guys, number one on my list will until I don't beat him, till that fight doesn't happen, will be Colby Covington. He's the number one guy on my list. And for sure, by the ranks, gotta be Wonder Boy, number 2, and Michael Chiesa. Those are the 3 guys that I'm looking forward to fight. And I don't care with the order, if they say Gilbert, who you want, it will be Colby. But if he's not available, then Wonder Boy. If he's not available, then Michael Chiesa. If he's not available, then the next guy available. But I would just want to get back in there, like you said. Like, for sure, you gotta be safe. I cannot go out there next week. I'm suspended, and I'm gonna respect that. But I want to get back as soon as I can. As soon as safe, as soon as possible. I do believe I have a very good preparation, but I couldn't, it was not even pull the trigger. It was about to control myself. I didn't control myself the way I can. And I think that played a good role in the fight. But I want to get back ASAP, and do what I do best. And I think May, June, if I'm not wrong, May, June, any one of these guys.
Yeah. It's funny, Gilbert, because, right now when you look at the division, what Kamaru is looking at is a lot of potential rematches. Obviously we mentioned the Colby fight possibly. Obviously it looks like it's going to be the Masvidal fight. But you came closer to finishing him than anyone ever really has. I mean, no one has ever hurt him in a fight like that. And he obviously, paid credit to you after the fight for doing that to him. Do you feel like, knowing how close you came, knowing how, it was a great fight regardless. Do you feel like 1 win, maybe 2 at most, and you're right back in there with him? Is that kind of the thought?
That's my thought, but I'll able to do 4 if you have to. I never get an easy path. Like I said, I felt that pain before in the jiu-jitsu, and then I'm a hard worker. I'm going to work hard to get that rematch again with Kamaru Usman, and then whatever it takes. I hope 1 or 2 put me there, but if not 3 or 4 or 5, I don't care. I do whatever is necessary to get that rematch again, and then the work is going to start very soon. I still get a little time off from my family this weekend, next weekend. And I guess I'll be right back in the work. And I don't know. That's a good question. Sometimes 1 or 2 fights put you right back in there, or sometimes you don't do anything, like Jorge Masvidal did, and you get a rematch. So nowadays it's too hard to say. I don't know. I don't see a clear path. What I see is a total domination. If I go out there and then if I finish Colby Covington, and maybe if I finish who else is next, Wonder Boy or Chiesa, and he doesn't give me a title, then I get another finish. He has to give me the title, So today is all about a performance, So I just go out there and kill these guys. Don't left nothing, just freaking kill these guys, and I'll be next.
Yeah, and I know that Colby fight, I don't want to focus just on him because obviously you mentioned Wonder Boy and Chiesa are potential opponents as well. But I know that Colby fight, that was one you were asking for, a year ago. You wanted that fight. You've been wanting to fight him, and now, kind of seems like the perfect scenario, doesn't it?
He does. He does. For me, but I don't know for the promoters. I don't know for him because, to be honest, as soon as I lost to Kamaru, I thought Leon Edwards would be fighting Colby Covington for the title. I thought that, okay, who wins will be next. That's what I thought. They fight in March. I just fought February. So who wins next? And then I kind of turned my phone off. As soon as I put my phone on again, I say Colby doesn't want to fight. And then Kamaru wants to fight Masvidal. And now Bilal Muhammad is fighting Neil Edwards. They was just like, really? That's happening? Everyone knows the clear path. It's supposed to be Kamaru. Take a little time off. You just won your fight. Let's wait for Leon or Colby. The winner fights Kamaru. And it's kind of open a little bit. Wonder Boy needs maybe one more win, and Wonder Boy will be next. So that's why I was looking for these guys. But nowadays, people talk whatever they want to talk, but a couple guys back it up, and I'm here to make a little difference. I want to fight everybody in that division. UFC gonna, hey, you want this guy? Yes, give me this guy right now. Beat this guy, give me another guy right now. Yeah. And I'm gonna get to a point that, okay, you guys gonna give me my title shot again, or I need to beat one more guy, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And then I said that before, winning that title, I'm gonna be busy, but losing that title is gonna be even busier. So looking forward to my next fight, and then I don't know who it's going to be. I cannot guarantee you that, but I don't know what I can guarantee. I can guarantee you that May June will be fighting, and it's going to be one of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll close out on this with you, Gilbert. Fighting Kamaru, in all honesty, we know this. It was for both of you. It was kind of a worst case scenario. You guys were friends. You were teammates. We saw afterwards there was no bad blood. There was no bad emotion. Obviously, you guys, hugged it out after the fight. You saw what Kamaru said about you. Just, nothing but compliments. Obviously, same thing. But, it was a weird situation. You were fighting a teammate, a training partner, a friend, a brother in a lot of ways. Obviously your coach wasn't. It was just a weird scenario. But now that you've gone through it once, and obviously you never want to go through that. Kind of like you said, you'll never fight your brother Vicente Luque, which I totally understand that. But considering you went through all this kind of weird stuff with this fight, does it better prepare you for a rematch with Kamaru now that you've gone through it? Because it was a weird situation, right?
Very weird, very, very, very weird, and that's why I think with a lot of things on my head, because as soon as I hurt him, I want to finish it, but I don't know. There's a lot of things on my mind that usually doesn't come. A lot of things on my mind. My mind is very clear during the fight, but okay, now I've been there, now I've done that. So every time that you've been there before, you felt that before, the pressure is different. When you never fought, when you never fight for a title, it's a pressure. But when you fought for the title already, when you lost, when you've been down, you've been there before, like that. I lost titles before, not never in MMA, but I lost in jiu-jitsu. I got second place in the awards. That hurt me a lot. Got through that, went to the awards again. Boom, lost in the semifinals. That hurts. Next time I won, but so every scenario that's hard, but you've been there before, you kind of get used to get through. Okay, I felt that before, so I'm looking forward to that rematch. I've been there. I fought him. I know a lot of things about him. I knew already that was one of the best title shots I could ever ask for, because I have so much information about Kamaru Usman that was at some point I was glad that was my next opponent, because I know so much about a guy. But guess what? A lot of things that I knew I couldn't. I didn't have the answer at that time, but I believe next time I'll have all the answers.
Absolutely. Well, Gilbert, again, nothing to be ashamed of with that performance. I know you didn't leave with the belt, which is what you wanted, but it was still an amazing fight. I look forward to the rematch. Let me tell you right now, I look forward to that day, and I look forward to seeing you back in action. Hopefully May, June, hopefully Colby, but whoever it is, I'm sure it's going to be a bad day that they got to get you next. So thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Enjoy some downtime. And by the way, before I let you go, I saw from Embedded your son training wrestling. Are we going to have another Burns World Champion here soon?
Soon, both guys. So Pedro and Joshua, they both doing wrestling. Joshua is doing jiu-jitsu, but Pedro is surfing now. I'm going to get to the surfing class in a little bit. But they're both going to be champion. They're very, very competitive. So that's Pedro right here.
I love it. Gilbert, thank you as always, my man. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Take it easy, brother. Have a good one.